The room froze the moment my brother said it. "I'm her father," he blurted, voice cracking, hand trembling around his drink. Every sound died, the laughter, the music, the hum of chatter that had filled our daughter's 16th birthday. The candles still flickered on the cake, waiting for her to blow them out. My wife, Emily, stood beside me, her face draining of color. Our daughter, Lily, blinked confused, the glow of the candles dancing across her wide eyes. "What?" I whispered. My throat went dry and I barely recognized my own voice. My brother, Daniel, didn't repeat himself. He didn't have to. The words echoed in my head like a gunshot. The silence shattered into chaos, voices rising, chairs scraping. My mother gasped, my father's glass shattered on the floor. Emily grabbed Daniel's arm and hissed, "Stop it. Please just stop." But I couldn't look away. I stared at her, the woman I'd loved for 20 years, the woman who'd carried our child, shared my bed, shared my life, and she looked like a stranger. "Tell me he's lying," I said. My voice was steady, but inside I was shaking. Her lips parted, but no words came out. Just tears. That was the answer. The air left my lungs. I stumbled back, catching myself on the edge of the table. The candles finally went out, not by Lily's breath, but by the cold wind that rushed through the open door as someone fled outside. Everything after that was fragments, people shouting, Emily crying, Lily sobbing and asking, "Mom, what is he talking about?" I couldn't answer her. I couldn't even look at her. I left the house. I didn't remember walking. Didn't remember getting into my car. Just the sound of the rain starting to fall, tapping against the windshield like a slow, cruel clock. I sat there for hours, hands gripping the steering wheel, the echoes of my brother's voice gnawing at the inside of my skull. I'm her father. When I finally went home that night, the house was quiet. Emily was sitting at the kitchen table, mascara smeared, eyes hollow. She looked up, but she didn't speak. There was nothing left to say that could undo what had been done. I poured myself a drink. My hands were shaking so badly that I spilled half of it. The smell of whiskey burned my nose. "How long?" I finally asked. Her voice broke. 17 years. The glass slipped from my hand and shattered. 17 years. That meant before Lily. Before our wedding. Before everything I thought was real. Was it just once? She shook her head. No. My stomach turned. I didn't plan it, she said quietly. It just. Don't, I snapped. Don't you dare say it just happened. Tears streaked her face. I was lonely, Mark. You were always working, always away. He was there and I was weak. And then I found out I was pregnant, and I didn't know what to do. I pressed my hands against my head, trying to block it out. So you lied to me. For 16 years. She swallowed hard. I thought it would destroy you. Destroy us. I thought if I just buried it, maybe it would go away. I laughed bitterly. And it did, didn't it? Until tonight. She covered her face and sobbed. I begged him not to say anything. I told him it would ruin everything. But he said he couldn't live with it anymore. I wanted to scream, to break something, to make her hurt the way I did. But instead I just sat down across from her. The silence between us was suffocating. Does she know? I asked quietly. No, she whispered. She thinks you're her father. You are her father, Mark. In every way that matters. I looked at her, my chest aching. Except the one that does. The next few days blurred together. The family whispered behind closed doors. My parents refused to speak to Daniel. My daughter wouldn't leave her room. The house felt haunted. Every photo, every memory suddenly tainted. At night, I'd lie awake listening to Emily crying softly beside me. I couldn't touch her. Couldn't even look at her. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Daniel's face, pale and trembling, when he confessed. I tried to piece together the past, every detail I'd missed. The family dinners where they'd laugh too easily. The way Daniel always offered to babysit. How he'd never missed a single birthday, even when he was broke or busy. The way he'd tear up watching Lily's school plays. And then the guilt crept in. The shame of loving her so completely all these years, of calling her mine. One night I heard a knock at the door. It was Daniel. He looked worse than I'd ever seen him. Eyes bloodshot, face unshaven. I didn't mean for it to come out like that, he said. I couldn't stand lying anymore. You had 16 years to tell the truth, I said coldly. You chose her birthday. He winced. It wasn't planned. I had too much to drink. I thought I could handle it, but when I saw her, your daughter up there, His voice cracked. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to punch him. But instead I just asked, do you love her? Emily. He hesitated. I did. I don't know anymore. And Lily. He swallowed hard. She's my blood. But you're her father, Mark. You always will be. The words should have comforted me, but they didn't. They only deepened the wound. Leave, I said. Before I do something we both regret. He nodded, eyes glistening, and walked away. After he left, I sat alone in the dark living room, surrounded by birthday decorations that hadn't yet been taken down, balloons half deflated, a banner that read Sweet 16 drooping against the wall. I heard footsteps behind me. Emily stood there, her voice trembling. She wants to see you. I went upstairs. Lily was sitting on her bed, clutching an old stuffed bear I'd given her when she was 5. Her eyes were red. Is it true? She whispered. I sat down slowly. My throat closed up. Yes. Her lips quivered. Does that mean you're not my dad? I reached for her hand. It means I didn't make you, sweetheart. But I raised you. Every scraped knee, every school project, every late night talk, those were me. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. She leaned into me then, sobbing into my chest, and I held her tighter than I ever had before. When she finally fell asleep, I stood there watching her breathe, realizing that love, real love, doesn't vanish because of blood. But trust? That's something else entirely. The next morning I packed a bag. Emily stood in the doorway, silent, tears streaming down her face. Where will you go? She asked softly. I don't know, I said. But I can't stay in a house built on lies. As I walked out, I glanced back one last time. Lily was at the window watching me leave. I smiled for her just enough to say, you'll be okay. The truth had broken everything. But in that breaking, maybe, just maybe, something real could finally begin.